Hi guys, Ian here, aka Hura Mantra. Welcome to my channel and to another video. And today I just want to share a few thoughts about magic and about ritual and ceremonial magic and the differences between the two and why we might want to do some and why we might already be doing some and not really realize it. Okay, so I'm not going to be talking about the how-to so much as the why and what is the point of and so on and so forth. So first of all, let's start by looking at what magic is. And there's a classic definition of magic, which is causing change according to our will. Causing change in what though? So the first thing that we have to think about is, how likely is it that we can cause the change in the external environment if we can't cause any change within ourselves? Now, of course, we can cause change in the external environment because I can build a house, or I can make a painting, or I can shut out the light. I can do so many things that affect the environment. But magic is, and the practice of magic is focused mainly at changing things that we cannot necessarily immediately change ourselves. So we are manipulating, if you like, the powers and processes of the universe, or we are attempting to do that to achieve a result that we want. It is change that we require which is beyond our immediate ability to affect ourselves. And again, I'll go back to my statement. How can we hope to manipulate the powers of the universe if we cannot even manipulate our own consciousness? So the basis of magic lies at its start within us. We have to be able to effect change in our own consciousness if we ever hope to have any success with magic. And there is certain ethics also involved with magic. Now, if you've done any research into this, you'll have come across the law of three, or the threefold law, which says that we don't do anything bad with our magic for fear of the fact that it's going to come back and hit us, 3 times as bad. Now, I don't believe in the threefold law myself, but I do believe that we should not be unethical in our use of magic, and I think there's a very good reason for that. And I think we see it, I'm finding, right, that I can trace all things back to the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. And we know, don't we, that regardless of our belief, regardless of our idea of divinity, of what God is or isn't, everything in this existence at one point had its source. And science tells us that, don't they, that ultimately all of the star lamps of heaven, all of the suns will burn out. When that happens, all of life on every planet, so there's got to be some other than this one, will die. Everything at some point will return to its source. Now, this is a fundamental principle of existence, that everything returns to source. This is the high principle of the above. Now, what is the equivalent in the below? Because as above, so below. Well, the equivalent in the below, to me, is that everything I send out ultimately makes its way back to me. My thoughts, which are living things, they are living energy. We can't think just what we like. We think, don't we, well, if I don't say it, it's all right if I think it. No. Because when we speak, our voice sends vibrations out into the universe. And vibrations have impact. When we think, we broadcast like a radio. Our thoughts are broadcast out into the universe, have an effect, have an impact. So we can't think what we like, because our thoughts can do as much damage as our words. We must be responsible for them. And this is one of the things that the occultist, the adept, the person seeking to understand and grow within the mysteries, must come to understand we are accountable for our words, our thoughts, and our actions. Accountable because they come back to us. So, in our magic, the reason that I would not use magic unethically is, one, because I don't think it's the right thing to do, and two, because I know that the impact of it eventually will come back to me. So, if I do good with my magic, then the impact that comes back to me will be that of good. And if I do wrong, if I do negative things, if I do things that are unworthy of the spiritual being that I am, that we all are, then the negative also comes back. And into this we could weave the laws of karma, couldn't we? But that's an entirely different video. Yeah, so I'm already going off track a little bit, but hey. So yeah, magic. Now, when you read, if you read about magic, you'll often see the words ritual magic, ceremonial magic, and sometimes, well, often they're used interchangeably, but they're not really the same thing at all. And I'll try and explain the difference as it was explained to me. Now, ritual magic is something that you enact. So it is something, you have to take an action, it's something that you do, right? But ritual can be quite simple. So, for example, if when you meditate you light a candle, that is a very simple ritual. If you light a candle and you burn some incense, again, simple ritual. So already you were doing ritual magic because you were doing it for a purpose. You light your candle because it means something to you. You burn your incense because that means something to you also. But you couldn't really call it a ceremony. It's not very complex, is it? It's just two small acts of ritual. Ceremonial magic is, so ritual is the doing of something, and ceremony is the specific way of doing it. So, for example, a Mass in the Catholic Church, a High Mass, that is a classic example of ceremonial magic, because the whole purpose of the Mass is to achieve a specific outcome, to achieve a specific goal. And it is rich in symbolism. Things have to be done in a certain way. There are certain tools, certain vestments. Yeah, it is a complex ritual which becomes a ceremony. So we might say that all ceremonial magic is ritual magic, but not all ritual magic is ceremonial magic. Anyway, the purpose of this video was why we might want to do some ritual magic. And again, I'm not going to talk about the how to do it. It's more of the why. Now, the purpose of all magic is to achieve an outcome of some sort, as we've said, to cause change according to our will. Now, what that might be, we might want to achieve something, someone's healing, for example. We might want to gain an outcome for ourselves or someone else. We might want to give a blessing to someone or to the planet or to, well, a blessing, whoever we might want to give it to, or whatever we might want to give it to. We may want to achieve a higher state of consciousness. We may want to achieve a communion with something. We may want to get in close contact with a particular energy, which we will often find represented in gods, goddesses. We may want to move closer. We may want to invoke the energies of a god form. So, what do we need to do that? Well, we need to be able to focus our will. We need to focus our thoughts. We need to focus our intentions. We need to focus our emotion, because the engine house of magic is emotion. It is that energy which sits deep within us, which we can summon to power our magical workings. So, dog's chipping in here. So emotion is the powerhouse of magic, and it's focused through the lens of very clear thought and visualization. And all of the trappings, I mean, that might sound disrespectful, but that's what they are. All of the items of magic are there to help us do that. Our candle, our incense, our chalice, our cauldron, our athame, our wand, all of those things, our robes, if we choose to wear them, all of those things are designed to get us into an altered state that pull us from the consciousness of the mundane, of the everyday, and move us into the consciousness of a magical being, an energy being, a divine being that can cause change beyond that which we can achieve with our hands, according to our will. And so really the rituals that we follow really need to be meaningful to us. So in this sense, designing our own rituals is really good because they have meaning to us. Now there are some rituals, some of the grand rituals, okay, some of the very well-known rituals which we follow for a number of reasons. One, because maybe we're working in a group and it's a ritual known to the whole group. Two, because it might be a ritual that's been used for many, many decades, perhaps centuries. So it will have accumulated a lot of astral energy as well, which can only help us achieve our goals. So there are some rituals that we follow rather than we devise ourselves. But the simple rituals that we devise ourselves can be very powerful because they have meaning to us. And the more we repeat these simple rituals that we design ourselves, the more power they gain because the more meaning they have. I'm not going to talk about how to construct a ritual here because there's plenty of resources that you can look at to do that. But remembering that the power is not in the items. The power of the magic that you generate is within you, and these items help you to garner it and focus it. So I would go far as to say that if when you do your ritual you feel nothing, you feel no emotion, then don't expect a result because you are not causing any change. Your rituals have to cause fire to rise within you. You have to feel the well of spiritual force, emotional energy rising up within inside you, so that when you conduct your ritual, it flows out in your words, it flows out through your hands, in your gestures. You feel that you are wielding cosmic energies. And if you don't feel it, go back and look at why not. Why is it that you are not feeling this whoosh, this terrific tornado of power that rises within you when you're connected with your magic, when you are connected with your ritual? Yeah, and there was one thing I wanted to mention and I didn't mention it, and it's just popped back into my mind now, so I'm going to. And it's this thing about the outcome of our magic coming back to us. That whatever we send out eventually returns. And as I was thinking these thoughts, the opening lines of the Gayatri Mantra came to mind, and it's this: where we see the principle in the above, and when we bring it down and realize it's going to apply to us in the below. And the principle of the return in the above is encompassed in these words of the Gayatri Mantra: O thou who givest sustenance to the universe, from whom all things proceed, to whom all things return. And it's the same with us. Everything that proceeds from us ultimately returns to us. If not in this life, in the lives that follow. So we must be wise in the use of our magic. And yes, that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you for listening, guys, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.